morning. Good morning. Peace and blessings. I am here. I'm still lounging. Good morning. Good morning. Friday. So we are in the throes of I hope that you guys are giving yourselves the opportunity when you can, if you can, to infuse your days, your daily living during winter with more rest and more relaxation and more peacefulness if you're able to. Thank you, Prosperous Rising to you and all. Thank you, Evolve, Shift, Grow. I love that name because even if you can't, you know, sleep later, but there are things you can do. Like you can go to bed earlier. You can go to bed earlier if you have to get up and go to work in the morning, right? You can, turn down your connection to the outside world earlier. Give yourself time. What you want to do is cultivate solitude in your life. It's winter time, right? Like be with that energy because when you honor it, I'm sorry, my cats are when you honor the energy, then the energies honor you. You have to remember that everything in our system is alive. And the subtle realities are more alive than the mundane world. So the things that we can't see, like the energy of winter, the energies, right? Like there are energies that come with these seasons and the elements. And if you honor them, right? So maybe you can't rest more, but you can put things in your home that remind you of the darkness and the solitude that would actually tell your subconscious and your psyche that it's time to be quiet. It's time to rest, right? So you want to begin to cultivate. And this is why I want you guys to join Follow the Sun, because these are the things that I'm going to be teaching there and creating classes to help people understand how to do this. How do you cultivate an environment of nature when you live in the dead of the city, right? Like if you live in New York City, but you can do it. You have to be intentional about it. Everywhere you go, you can access everything if you desire it and if you want to. But what happens is we'll tell ourselves that we can't do it and then we don't have access to it and then we shut it off in our consciousness. It's really important for us to remember this is a experience born out of consciousness. Your energy is your consciousness. And so your energy and consciousness is creating your reality. So with that, today is a Venus day, and Venus is Friday, the planet that governs Friday. And Venus, the archetypes of Venus are Oshun and Aphrodite and Venus and Heharu. Um, these sort of lover energies, right? Restoration, how we restore ourselves, how we nurture ourselves, how we relate to ourselves and to one another. So Venus is Friday. Venus is the day that governs Friday, and Friday is the day that I ask for reciprocity. Um, and so I just want to show you all things, right? So this morning, somebody sent me $44.44. Thank you so much. I won't say who it is, but if they listen, they know who they are. Thank you. That is so lovely. So people send money, and you can do that at Cash App, which is $Monique Ruffin, or Venmo @ Monique Ruffin. And then people send me beautiful gifts too, right? I don't want a lot of gifts because then I have things and I don't want to have to be present with things. But someone sent me this beautiful necklace of the universe and I just love it. I really love it. It's so beautiful. And then someone sent me their artwork. Um, let's see if I can show you guys this. Someone sent me this. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. So this artist sent this to me, and Miles, I can say his name because he's an artist, right? So Miles sent this to me. He lives in Los Angeles. He's been a really incredible. I've known him for a long time, so I love his work, and he sent that to me. So anyway, however you want to, whatever feels right for you, right? People send me their playlists, their music thank yous, like however it is. Let me tell you what I love. I love hearing from you and you all telling me. I'm sorry, they're both. I have YouTube in. I love hearing from you all and you all telling me what is occurring in your life because of the work. When I tell you, I get to have conversations with people who are waking up to their ancestry and having magical experiences constantly. Um, and I get to be with people as they are in their awakenings, and sometimes it's very scary for them. And I get to be the person, like a doula almost. I get to be the person who gets to hold their hand and let them know that it's okay and that they're safe. And I just love it. I just love it. It's the best. It's the best work in the world to help people wake up to the truth of who they are and to understand that the world that we have been in was a construct and an illusion that was false. And now we get to actually awaken to the real reality. The fact that I get to be with people, and it's so remarkable. I mean, there are three experiences I have had in my life that touch me in the most profound ways. And I've had I've only these three experiences. So one of them is being in the room when a baby is being born, not giving birth to the baby, because that is another thing. It is powerful, but being in the room when a baby is being born is freaking amazing. That's one thing. Watching somebody get it, being in the space when somebody gets, like, when they have a realization, being able to watch somebody's eyes when they have a realization blows me away, blows me away. And then the other one might be TMI, but being in a room when people are having sex, being in the room, because you guys know I tell you guys all the time that I grew up and my parents used to have sex with one another with me in the bed with them. They didn't know that I was aware and conscious. They were young and silly and they just thought, oh, this was, but it tapped me into this energy that is a really powerful energy. And we've all have had sex, so we know what the energy is like when you are with somebody having sex. But to be in the room with people who are have the energy in it's like and because I've been conditioned in that since I was a child, I've had my own adult experiences as well. I'm not going to act like I'm not a grown up. But my point is that the energy, so the energy of being in the room when somebody's being born, being in the room when people are having sex and you're not having sex, and then being in the room when you're watching somebody have a revelation. My most favorite things. I just love those things. I love those things. And I often don't get to be in the room when other people are having sex. I've only had a couple of experiences of that. And I'm actually kind of shy. Like, I'm shy. Like, I'm like, okay. But the energy of it is remarkable, is what I'm doing. The feeling of being with people who really love each other, and I mean who are in a loving expression, right? It's not, I'm not talking about they're in love, I'm just who are in an expression of love, and the energy that comes from that. Whoo, sex magic and all that kind of stuff. Shy as hell, Pisces rising, exactly. Right. So yeah. Hey Devin, I've been thinking about Devin, and so Devin has who gave me this beautiful necklace. I love it. Thank you so much, Devin. So anyway, today is Friday. Those are my things, and this is what we're talking about today. Venus. So thank you all for donations and gifts and all that sort of stuff. Thank you for sharing how the work impacts you. Thank you for all the stories I get. I mean, I get so many stories, like they are incredible, and the magic that you guys share with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So today is a Venus day, and Venus is currently at the 15th degree of Capricorn retrograde. It is retrograde, and guess what? Mercury just went retrograde. So right now we have Mercury and Venus retrograde. Venus is our emotions, how we feel, how we restore ourselves. And Mercury is our mind, how we think. So if you want to join the Mercury retrograde class, today is a great day to do it. Today's the well, I'll probably leave it open for a couple of days, but not long. So the Mercury retrograde class is going to be incredible because Mercury is retrograding in Aquarius, and we are doing the work to bring in, to anchor in the mind of God, to bring us into the conscious awareness of our mind as God's mind. That's right, buckle up. So this is so fantastic. And the thing about these retrogrades happening, Pluto has been a part of each of them. So these energies are not fun. This is not, it's not pleasant. And so if you join the retrograde class, I have done the work to create the rituals and what you need, which you can benefit from. I don't want to say what you need. What can benefit you during the retrograde cycle so that you can move through this experience more gracefully. When Mercury goes retrograde, it turns our thinking inside out, but you can't see it. Like I'm saying, this stuff is invisible, but it's still impacting you. It's invisible, but it's still happening. So you have to do something to honor the invisible energies. And so Venus at the 15th degree of Capricorn retrograde. Capricorn is our external authority. It's the, how about it? Let's say it this way. Capricorn is the energy. Capricorn is really just like a police officer, because it Capricorn tells us how can we use our energies to relate to the 3D reality. And if you are Venus is our emotions, right? So it's literally taking your power back from things that you had given it away to. Taking your power back. I'm sorry, I'm uncomfortable sitting. Hold on one second. Okay. Taking your power back from the ways that you have given it away in historically. And like for instance, so I'm noticing for myself, I have historically given my power away where men are concerned. And I am realizing, so because I'm in it, it's hard for me to talk about it because I'm actually in the experience right now. So it's not always easy to talk about something while I'm in the midst of it. But what I can say is that, as my, like, so I tend to turn into like a little girl. So like, for instance, if my ex-husband calls and needs something, I will panic inside because I anticipate not being able to give him what he's asking of me. And yesterday he called and he needed something and I couldn't find it. But I couldn't find it because I create a dynamic of being powerless and helpless. And so I knew that was happening. And I just was like, what is it that you need? I just was able to nurture myself and I never found it. And then I just texted him and said, I can't find it. You're going to have to get another one. In the past, I would have panicked and, oh my God, and I'm so bad. And how come I didn't put that in a place where it could be found? And what, he must think the worst of me. And literally, so I was just like, I took care of that. I took care of that myself. I just was like, what do you need? What's going on? And then sent him a text like, I cannot find it. We will have to replace it. And then he responded, I think I have another one anyway. Don't worry about it. Right. So that's what I'm talking about, Venus, right? So in the past, that experience would have drained my emotional energy and power to the point where I would have felt worthless. I would have felt like I am a bad person or I am a bad mother because I couldn't resource what he was asking me for. And so with Venus, Venus at the 15th degree of Capricorn, the 15th degree is resistance, right? So yesterday, resistance is when you bump up against something that is in opposition to what you are, the current energy that you're in, right? So yesterday, I was just sitting there. It's so interesting. I had just finished my last rebirthing class. We did a year-long class called Rebirthing the Authentic Self. Ebony Davis was with us last night. I finished the last class. I was doing some work on the Mercury retrograde, and then I was like, I'm exhausted, and I'm going to go to lay down and just zone out and watch Macbeth and with Denzel Washington. And just as I sit down and press start with Macbeth, he calls, and I feel like I should be working, I should be doing what, and so I answer the phone, and that's the resistance, right? So I was feeling I'm about to relax, da, 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 and then all of a sudden he calls, and I meet resistance. All of a sudden my relaxation is gone, my I'm going to rest, I'm going to take care of myself, all of that is gone, and I move into, what does he need? Can I get this? And so rather than doing it the way I normally do it, I just sat still and I thought about it. Where could this be? Where is this? And then when I got up and looked for it, and when I couldn't find it, I just did what I needed to do to take care of myself, and then responded to him. And I did not allow the resistance, that opposite energy that came in, to take me off my square. And I went back and watched Macbeth with Denzel Washington, which is a really horrible story, by the way. I do not suggest it, and I don't understand why we think Shakespeare is so great. Now that is the truth. So with that, Venus at the 15th degree of Capricorn. And so the moon today is in Gemini and is moving into the full moon. And we're going to have a full moon meditation on Monday at 6:30 p.m. And you can register for that here in my link tree, the full moon meditation and ritual in Cancer. And so the moon is in Gemini currently, and the Gemini moon is really the opportunity for us to tell a new story. That's what Gemini is about. It's really the story you're telling, your perceived reality, but it's the story that's running inside of you. It's not what you look at and think. It's the story it's it's the perception that's running inside of you, right? So when I see my son's father call, and then something inside of me perceives that I am not safe, or that I am not going to have my needs. That's a perception, right? So literally Gemini energy is like, what is it that you perceive? What the perception is something that comes through the body system. It's, your thoughts are part of it, but it's your whole body. Like you can, you walk into a room and you can feel if the energy is good or bad. That's perception. You go into something and it just feels a certain way. All of that is perception. All right. So Gemini is perception, but it does move into the experience of language. So you want to be listening to what you're saying to yourself and then question it. So I can hear myself saying things that, or like, and this is a very Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde experience. How your thoughts and your feelings coincide. They work together. You think something, and then that gives you a feeling. You feel something, and then that gives you a thought. That's Venus and Mercury together. Your feelings, Venus, and then your thoughts, Mercury, right? So it's important to see that function inside of yourself. So I can feel something, and it might feel like something that feels bad to me. But now I get to the point where I just feel it. I don't have to put any language to it. I just feel it. And then sooner or later, I can feel it and then give it something that actually is, in my perception, good. Like you can tell yourself that pain feels good when you know that it is healthy and aligned, and you're not denying or ignoring something going on in your body, right? Like athletes, they tell themselves, I'm going to do this because this is going to get me the result that I want. The pain feels good. So at some point we can reconfigure our emotional body and our mental body so the things that we resisted that felt bad begin to feel good. So say, for instance, you get triggered by something like my son's father calls, and I'm triggered by it because I have an old memory that shows up in my sensory body. But then as I know, like, oh, it's a trigger, this is exciting. I actually am going to get to work through this. That is the difference in the pain being something that feels good, the trigger, like, oh, the trigger is telling me that I'm about to grow through something. The trigger, the thing that I'm resisting is telling me that, this is an opportunity for you to transform and to be renewed. And so we can begin to reorganize those energies in our lives by naming them something different, by feeling them in a different way, by feeling them without giving language to it, by then, feeling it and giving new language to it. And then you shift realities. That is the way you shift realities. So with that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who's in the Mercury retrograde class. This class is about to be, many of you have taken classes with me before. This class is about to be really different because Mercury retrograde and Venus together is going to be a game changer. So I'm excited for all of you who are there. And then thank you for everyone who shares and donates and all that sort of stuff, because I really appreciate you. You can sign up for natal chart readings, new and full moon readings, and then also readings for your children, and so that you can really support them in the best ways possible. And I think that is all. All right, you all. Happy Friday. Happy Mercury retrograde. Happy Venus day. Happy moon and Gemini. All is well. Peace and blessings. I'm the Moon Mama. Have a wonderful day.